I don't know how much sense this tape is going to make. I had this thought several hours ago that I wanted, sometimes when I have a thought, it's so clear and complete, but if I can't make the tape right away, then I tend to forget bits and pieces of it. So I'll give it my best go because I always go off the top of my head. Um, this is in regards to a video, or this is a video response to this other video that's asking the question, is consciousness inside time and space, or is time and space inside consciousness? Okay, I've been reading this book, Holodynamics, which basically is the study of consciousness. And it's pretty wild shit, and a lot of people won't understand any of it, and my biggest challenge is trying to explain it without making it sound completely crazy. But time and space is actually inside consciousness, and how you can tell is understanding what each actually is. What is time and space and consciousness? If you really understand what the function of all of them are, and you sort of see the bigger picture of what's going on, it's P-Brains. There's, in this Holodynamics, I'm reading it so you can look at some tapes if you don't have the books, or buy the book. E-books are like $10. I'm going to be reading, like, there's 6 of them, I think, 6 or 7, and it explains an awful lot of this stuff of perception. For one is P-Brains, and it's one brain is just a particle, and 2 brain is a particle with height, 1 is a particle with height, 2 is a particle with height and width, 3 is 3-dimensional, 4 is watching a 4-dimensional particle move in time. So it's then try to understand why particles are moving. And in this Holodynamics, at the quantum level, at the smallest level of what we can see, they found it's empty. But it's got spinning pieces of information. So to know what that particle, or that atom, what it is, or what it's going to take form of, is spinning pieces of information. If you look out in the galaxy, it kind of looks like it's got this spinning effect. It also explains that in science, the quantum world is identical to the spatial world, the outer space. So if the more you understand, like astronomy, you understand the stories that we tell, or the patterns that we see within our outer world, then we can understand what's happening in the quantum world. And the quantum world is like, okay, where did we begin? Where does a thought first come from? Where is consciousness? What makes us who we are? From, how to make anything happen in your life. We got global problems. Why do we have global problems? And is it possible to get global solutions? If we understand the quantum world, where everything starts, everything is causal. Something pushes a particle in position A to get to position B, which is time. If you understood what pushes it, and you could have control over what pushes it, you could create whatever the hell you wanted to create, and it would be instant. Because in a quantum level, things happen really, really, really fast. In the outer world, things happen really, really slow. Time changes in between the smallness and the bigness. Now, to look at this whole picture of life, planet, people on it, things are moving in time, is how you are perceiving your world. this global change that's about to take place is sort of like a pass or fail, and it is understanding your consciousness, which your consciousness is what you're using to view and perceive space and time and things moving inside space and time, particles. And what we're about to do, or have the opportunity, because it is a pass or fail, where we are like maturing our consciousness, which means we're screwing up. This is hell on earth, and our awareness, our awakeness, why you're even asking this question. Something's driving you. You're looking for an answer to something. What is that something you're trying to figure out? I'll just guess you're trying to get the answer to life and get a bigger picture of what the hell's going on. So what we're trying to do to get a bigger picture of what's going on is, yeah, you are in a box that's in another box that's in another box. And so we're perceiving our box within this actually fifth dimension, because we're watching ourselves live our lives that way. I mean, if you can see the planets and you can see, bigger things outside of ourselves and looking in, then we're watching ourselves in the fourth dimension. So it's like a fish in a fishbowl. We've out of the fishbowl looking in at ourselves, what we're doing there, but we're not actually living what's in that fifth dimension, although we are there. We're like standing there, but we don't understand what 5 is. So we're going to jump out of that other fish tank and into the 6, looking down of ourselves, viewing, using our consciousness, our combined conscious. We're going to understand so much like telepathy, and this explains time travel, which is time and space. It's really, really good to understand, which I've read it from Holodynamics. It does explain, this is old stuff, that old news, so we've known about this for a long time, that multiple personality disorder, there's another personality that takes over a body, and eye color can change, you can get scars, your whole physiology changes. And that same behavior seems to happen in channelers. And we know, it's sort of in our face with channelers, because they tell us who they are. And they are entities or other personalities, other consciousness from a different space and time. But they're very much just as real as I would be real or you would be real. But they're jumping in time. So they've played this game before, so they can appear to have really, really cool technology that we are learning from and influenced by these personalities that are exactly like who you are out there in our everyday life. They can take over in your body, but it's also an energy form that travels. You are influenced by the slightest little thing. Somebody can make a suggestion, but you're also influenced by nature. You're influenced by everything that bumps up against your world in these particle time and space. There was another thought that was coming to my head here, that if you could see how multi-dimensional, that you aren't just influenced by what you read, by what you see, what you hear, what you taste. You're greatly influenced by sort of different entities that you can't see. This would be what I would believe in ETs, but they're not out there, because that out there is everything. It's the bigness of ourselves combined. And we affect the bigness. If we affect from the quantum world this stage of our bigness, because this would be like the in-between stage of our bigness, which this quantum or this Holodynamics explains, that we're in an in-between position of consciousness, or the bigger body of ourselves, let's put it that way. And so if you can see that you are influenced by just an energy in a room, and an unseen energy in a room, and it could be carried in, like, there's so much different particles that we're putting in the air that's changing how our physiology works. You know, it's basically killing us, but we're changing the planet. And we've got to start being aware of what our actions are. We're all think we are doing the right thing, but you have to see the chain reaction of everything you do, because you're creating your own friggin' hell. But the goal is to, you know, discover who you are at a quantum level and understand all of the influences that will affect you from a particle perspective. But this was the biggest thing. The wave is the emotion. You are driven by emotion more than anything, because that's something you can't control. And emotion is definitely a chemical thing. And if you can understand how to design your own chemicals, get addicted to the right chemicals, then you will create the emotions that you want, and the emotions that you feel will change how you view your world. And you'll start to see your connections within it. And the more you start to get in tune with these unseen influences and get control over your life, your experience, the more you can't be influenced by anybody else's words or text on a paper, or on, you know, the other influences that we have one-on-one with each other. You'll be able to intuitively know what they're doing, because you'll be able to see what their emotions are. And that is one of the biggest things that we're really screwing up the planet right now, because it almost is like, if you see, just because of how we view our world, and we're actually doing everything that's wrong. Like, I mean, just buying cars that run on gas when you know we've got wars just so that we could get gas for your car. I mean, yeah, it's sounds so insane to say, well, that's how the system works and I gotta eat. And it's like, no, if enough of us said, I can't participate in a world that has one person killed. We have to start valuing life, because we're all connected. We're all one sort of bigger body of this bigness that we are, that we don't understand, you know, within this in-between stage of the quantum and the bigness of, you know, the universe. When we evolve into this other bubble, we have to, the only way to get there is by valuing life. And one person dying will ultimately be a chain reaction to the destruction of the friggin' planet. Most of us die and the cycle's repeated. And like, there are patterns within patterns, and we clearly know that we've disturbed the planet so much that Mother Earth takes care of it and just sort of cleans itself up. And if it means getting rid of a few humans in the process, and then it will appear like a big black hole, because we are more influencing the planets than we realize. And what's coming in 2012 in, you know, the astrology predictions, and what's happening out in our galaxy and what's happening out in the sun, it's all starting from us. If we change the event horizon of what's to come, then we evolve, we ascend. But the only way to know that you're there, or that you're doing it, or you're is you actually have to be nice to people. All these really, really negative videos about me, like that's a failure. And we're all going to destroy it. Those smallest little acceptable things lead to our destruction. And we'll never evolve. Peace out.